DJ PK and the former U quarterback Frank Dolce on the line. Frank, good morning.
Hey, DJ.
Are you okay? You okay? Are you okay? Are you recovered?
Nope. No, I'm not. No way.
Not.
No. This is the one that goes down in the age of, in 10 years, we're going to be like, do you remember that night that afternoon when Utah decided not to put a run defense on the field? Do you remember that night?
Dude.
Like,
that's what's so crazy about this is that
so crazy
that we're not talking about another prolific offensive showing.
That was a prolific offensive
Yeah, but we're not talking about. We're talking about the incredible defensive lapses.
It gets overshadowed because what do we think about Utah football?
Stop
when
the
you
run.
say Utah football, yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what you think. Stop the run. And in the past, when Utah's gotten in trouble, they haven't been able to do that. Several years ago, Utah went down to Arizona to play a game. Probably should have won, been in contention for that game. They gave up like 280, 300 yards rushing in that game, lost the game. It was a lefty quarterback. I can't remember his name, but all of a sudden he's running wild in that game. Utah just couldn't stop the run. That seems to be Utah's Achilles when they can't stop the run. They struggle. And by the way, I think that we mentioned this a week ago, or maybe this has been consistent. Like, Utah has shown some signs of getting gashed in the run game this year, giving up big explosive running plays. So it was almost shocking to see how Kansas State maneuvered.
What's cool about this, Frank, is now you sent DJ on a wild goose chase to find out who that left-handed quarterback was. As soon as you said that, he went right to the typewriter.
It was something else he said that did it, but it was, yes. He did send me on it. You did send me on a hunt. I was thinking, for comebacks, I really... prisoner of the moment, admittedly, but I think the best comeback I'd seen, which I think this just topped, they got off the hook against Air Force one year at home. They went touchdown, 2-point conversion, onside kick, long pass to Dyson, and that was in like 2 minutes. I mean, they really, and it was 2 scores just like this. So there's that, but I can't think of many comebacks like this that have been this dramatic. I do remember once they went down to Rice when they were in that big 16-team whack, and that's what I was looking for.
Not Rice Eccles, just Rice?
To the Rice University in Houston, Texas. And they lost 51-10. And I don't know what they gave up for yardage in that game, but Rice had the option, and they couldn't stop it, and that was a one-time, and I mean, you can count them on one hand, where I saw Kyle Whittingham absolutely perplexed. Like, how did that happen? We know better. How did that?
Yeah,
that was awful. And that team was flying at that point. They were having a great season, and Rice just took them apart, and it wrecked the end of the year.
Yeah. So the interesting thing about this game is, probably a couple things happened. One is Kansas State saw something on film they thought they could exploit. When they went to going into a certain formation, the way the defense aligned, they saw something that they thought, well, you know what, maybe we can take a chance on this. And then they did, and then it kept working. As I looked across that game, it didn't seem to me like they were running variations of that play. Like, they kept running
the exact same thing. Play. Yeah, that's what Kyle said afterwards. Yeah.
Exact same.
Well, it was such a deceiving, tricky play.
Very. It was so like when I was playing, coaches used to say I was deceptively slow. Like, people couldn't figure it out. But like, okay, so great. Kansas State sees this anomaly that they can exploit. Okay. Well, why isn't Utah adjusting on the defensive side? Like, how many times do you have to give up chunk yardage on that particular play before you say, wait a second? And when they
14,
do this,
14 times,
when they go into this alignment, then we're going to shift this. Maybe we're going to say we're going to give up something else, but we have to stop this. So that was the thing that was really perplexing is, okay, they run this play, Utah keeps getting gassed. Wait, where's the adjustment? I didn't see that, and maybe
I did.
Maybe I'm overstating it, but that seemed like a big.
The adjustment came at 47-44, Frank, because they gave up the long touchdown run after the fumble, and then there's a 2-point conversion, right? And at that point, I'm 100% sure they're going to lose that game. As soon as Dampier fumbled the ball, they're doomed. They're going to run this right in, and then it's over, right? And by the time you get down on the field, because we were just looking for the elevator, by the time you get down on the field, they've already run the 2-point conversion back, and the offense has the ball and they're driving. You're like, oh, I guess I was wrong. Maybe it's not over. But at 47-44, they tried to throw on first down, and then on second and third, they ran that play. And the Utes stuffed it. It's like, why did you stuff it now? You didn't stuff it all day long. And the only answer I could come up with is, well, because you had to win the game. Maybe they just won so big for so long, they weren't focused. I don't know. I can't explain it. But they had to be focused then, and they were, and they got the stop they had to have.
It may have been, utilizing the adjustment at that point in the game may have been the biggest coaching genius maneuver we've ever seen. Like, maybe they just played all of us the whole time. Like, we're just going to give this up. We're going to and then when it really counts, we're going to make the adjustment, and then we're going to stop it.
I heard a story once of Greg Maddox. They were winning, I think it was against Houston, and they were up big. And one of the better hitters came up, and he threw him a meatball, and the guy hit it out so that when they got in the playoffs, that guy would look for that same pitch, but Maddox would throw something else and get him out. So that's what you guys are insinuating, that they tricked him into thinking, oh, man, and then when the time's running out, they can't even get a first down. That sounds hard to believe.
Yeah, I know. I think the coaches. I think the coaches were saying it. I mean, everybody's got iPads, and they know what happened right away. They either look at the replay up on the scoreboard or they got the iPad. I mean, everybody knows. And they said it, and it finally sunk in. That's all. It finally sunk into the players, and they finally locked in on. That's what they're doing. This is what I have to do, so that I don't have to chase a guy 80 yards into the end zone and not catch him.
Yeah. Absolutely. Sometimes, I mean, you get this in the broadcasting world as well. Like, sometimes you prepare for something, like you do all of your notes, you get everything all managed, you're ready for the broadcast. The game comes along, and maybe it's not happening the way that you thought it was going to happen, but my gosh, you've prepared all of these interesting things to say, and then, even in the most inopportune times, you're working in some fact of whatever you researched. Like, you have to get it in. You've done all the work. Sometimes that happens with a game plan. I've seen that happen with Utah football, mostly on the offensive side, I would say. Not necessarily this year, but in the past. Like, it feels like coaches are preparing for something. They expect something to happen on the defensive side, even if it's not happening exactly that way. Well, you've prepared this all week. We've got to do it, rather than having the ability to adjust on the fly. And the interesting thing about that is, I don't think we've ever really said that about this Utah football team or Utah defensively, is they haven't been able to adjust. That seems like one of their stalwarts is, especially if the first half doesn't go well, go in at halftime, get it cleaned up. Second half is much different. So whatever it was a very interesting set of circumstances. And Coach Whittingham's right. You never win a game like that. You never win a game when you give up 500 yards on the ground. That just doesn't happen. In fact, I'm so confident that that's the truth. If Utah would have averaged 500 yards rushing for this entire year, there's no question they'd be undefeated.
I would agree with that.
That's not even a thing.
No.
So the thing that we also have to talk about, PK, that you're talking about, is this never say die attitude. I've been pretty critical, maybe not critical. I mean, I just feel like Dampier throwing the football downfield, that's not his strength. But if you take that piece and all of the other stuff that he does amazingly well,
right,
like on the sidelines, up and down. The game's not over. Like the attitude of we're playing until the final whistle and getting everybody engaged on that, even after the fumble. Like that's beyond leadership. And so whatever it is, I have to tip my cap to Dampier and his ability to keep that team focused. And
the guy's an incredible leader. And I'm happy for him. It was his finest moment. And there had been, I even got, and my neighbor's probably listening, there's been this surge for Ficklin. And I'm on the field, and I get a text from him at the end of the game, towards the end of the game when the media goes down, so we're ready for post game. And he said, "Why aren't they putting in Ficklin?" Well, I mean, you've got an experienced dude, and let him go. And there's been this surge for Ficklin almost to the point, well, he'll be the starter next year. It'll be the kid from L.A., Williams, and the Huntley thing all over again. And I think Devin Dampier silenced those people who don't believe in him because he was super dynamic. Yeah, he struggled completing passes he should be able to complete in the first half. That's a fact. But he came back in the second half, and he completed passes that he's capable of completing, plus his ability, the dynamic ability that he has in the run game, and that was his finest moment, and that's why he's a starting quarterback for a team that's going to win 10 games. I realize he sat out one game, but still, he's basically the quarterback for a team that's going to be nationally ranked at the end of the season and is going to probably end up with 11 wins.
Well, I mean, I don't disagree with that. I feel like Ficklin still has the higher ceiling. I don't think there's any question about that. But if you're talking intangibles, Bert Ficklin would do well to spend a lot of time in the head of Devin Dampier and understanding how that machine works. Because even with all of the talent and high ceiling and athletic ability, if Ficklin can learn the leadership mentality that Devin Dampier has, oh man, he has a chance of being really, really good. So congratulations to Devin Dampier and just that mindset and willing his team to win when it looked like several times it looked like the game was over.
There was a throw he made, which I thought was better than he could make. I really think that he's really good inside of 15 yards between the numbers. Mm-hmm. He's accurate. He zips the ball in there. And that really means, and you know this, because you're dropping back, right? So you're 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage when you let it go, and there's a little bit of a diagonal to that, so it's going a little more. So the ball's in the air maybe 25 yards tops. The 20-yard touchdown pass, Frank, and maybe I'm making too big a deal of this, but he's 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. It's all the way to the sideline. It's 5 yards deep in the end zone, and he threw it with zip, and it was on the outside shoulder. Simmons had to spin around to catch it, as he should. That's right where it should have been, to throw it away from the defender.
Yes.
That touchdown pass, he made a 47-44. I think that ball was in the air at least 30 yards, probably closer to 35 yards. Probably some mathematician could tell me. I didn't think he could throw a ball that far, that accurate, that hard. Now, PK's over here right now. This is what he said off the air. It's 100% honest. He's like, oh, come on. Because at 50 yards, we all know that's too much.
Yeah.
Did that throw surprise you in the moment, or did you think nothing of it and that he could throw that throw?
Well, I would say that throw is more aligned with what Dampier can do in the passing game. And, I mean, it's not like he doesn't have ability. That throw demonstrates it. He does struggle throwing the ball downfield. And there's quarterbacks who have those two different pieces. Like there's guys that struggle throwing the ball underneath or struggle throwing that 10, 12-yard out. But all of a sudden you throw the ball downfield and it's this beautiful, high arcing spiral right on the outside shoulder. I mean, everything looks magical. So I think it's just that's the portion of the throw game where Dampier excels. And especially if he gets all of the stuff right. Sometimes he doesn't, like, mechanically, it's not perfectly sound, and so that leads to some distress. But when he gets everything right, he has the ability to throw the ball really well, and that was an example of it.
Right. It's just that he's not going to go 32 for 40 for 420 yards.
No, I mean, I kept trying to will him into that. Like, come on, Dampierre's got to complete 65% of his passes, and they have, I keep trying to will him into it. It's just not his game.
Right.
And
Even when it was going poorly in the first half, some of that was on him, but some of it was on his receivers. There's one play in particular.
Sure.
It was zone, and the guy thought it was man, and he kept running.
Yeah.
And so the ball was behind him. And you could even cut to him, and he's like, dude, that's the zone. You got to stop right there. If you keep running and I throw it, I'm going to get you blown up. So stop.
Yep.
But it made it look like it was a bad throw, and really it was a bad read by the receiver.
Yeah. There's a statistic in football. 97% of the time when it looks like a bad throw, it's actually the receiver's fault.
Said the quarterback.
I read that stat.
You read that too?
I looked in the bibliography and I saw your name.
And 84% of all.
Yeah, you can footnote me on that.
Footnote Frank Dolce. Yeah. So now if they learn their lesson and they won't be fat and happy, and the run defense will look like the run defense we expected, and the Utes will go out and handle Kansas Friday.
Well, I hope they're dialed in after that performance. That's embarrassing. Like, if I'm Utah defensively, that's an embarrassing effort, and I think it's from top to bottom. And by the way, the architect of that, Kyle Whittingham, I mean, that's not the legacy he wants to leave. That's his defense. He has his thumbprint all over that defense. I know it's Morgan Scalley and his crew running it, but there's a lot of pride up top, and I understand that he was very direct in his commentary at halftime regarding what was happening defensively on the field. So, I mean, I would not be surprised to see that defense very focused on the task at hand, which is Kansas, on the road. And, yes, it's a very winnable game for Utah, but I don't think you can take a different mentality into that game. It still has to be our survival depends on week to week winning games. And so there's nothing past this. There's nothing behind us. The only focus is going and taking care of the Jayhawks. I really think this could be a good week for Utah defensively.
Frank, we'll leave it right there. We appreciate it as always.
All right, you guys, you're the best. Hey, I hope you both have an amazing Thanksgiving. I'm thankful for both of you.
Thank you.
We're thankful for you. We're thankful you come on every week and entertain us. Happy Thanksgiving,
it's my
Frank.
pleasure. All right, guys.
There's Frank Dolce, DJ, and PK. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll give away tickets to see the Utah Jazz and the Sacramento Kings Friday night. Have some turkey leftovers and head over and see a game. We'll be looking for caller 12 after the break. Stay with us right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.